Tabitha, an elementary drama teacher, and today I'm just going to be going through my 5 tips for anyone who's interested in becoming a drama teacher. So first of all, I just want to say, disclaimer, this is all totally my opinion, totally based on my experience. And one of the cool things about theater education is that there isn't just one way to make things happen. There isn't just one way to be successful. There isn't just one career path. So obviously take everything I say with a grain of salt. These are just things that definitely helped me and definitely have helped some other people that I know as well. My first tip is that even if you're in high school or as soon as you're young enough to at least know you want to be in theater, it doesn't even matter what, as long as you know I definitely love performing, I definitely want to have some career that has something to do with performing or theater. As soon as you decide that, try to take any job that has anything remotely to do with theater. Don't just sit around and wait for that one big dream job. Take anything you can get where you are. And so even if you're in high school, you can be an usher at a theater. You can work in a box office. In grad school, I was a tour guide at Radio City Music Hall in New York City, and that was such an amazing job to have because not only was it fun and I got to see celebrities that went there and I got to be there when they had the Tonys, but also I just got to be immersed in what I was passionate about and immersed in what I was studying. And if you make yourself immersed in that kind of environment, you'll learn, even if it's just by accident, you'll be learning about your field. I learned all about the Rockettes, I learned about dancing, I learned about theater history, I learned about movie history, just by being in that environment. Same thing for any job, even if you are an usher or a box office worker, if you are helping someone make costumes, if you're working in a costume shop or a costume store, anything that you can put on your resume that connects back to your theater ambitions will help you in the long run. Those jobs are a lot more helpful than the basic, I was a waiter job or I worked at this store. Well, if it's a store that sells costumes, you can talk about it if you ever want to work in costumes. Or instead of being a waiter at a regular restaurant, you can be a waiter at a dinner theater and just get that experience so that when you talk about theater, when you're applying to jobs or applying to schools, you have that in your back pocket and you can tell people that you've had jobs that connect you to theater and you've been immersed in that environment and therefore you know a little bit more than you would have if you had just taken a regular job that had nothing to do with theater. My second point, which is kind of related, is that once you specifically decide that you want to be a theater teacher, you don't necessarily have to wait until you have the specific credentials to start teaching theater. What I mean is, when I decided I wanted to be a theater teacher, I knew that I knew enough about theater to get by in a low-risk teaching environment. So in the summers between my undergrad years, I worked at a summer camp. The first year, I worked at a specific theater camp, and I was a counselor, and again, just immersing myself in that environment. And then the second year, I was in a general camp, but I was the one drama instructor. So in both of those jobs, I got experience teaching drama to kids, even though I didn't have a degree in it. Because when you're not teaching in a classroom, you might still be qualified to teach in lower risk environments like camps or after school programs. So if teaching theater is something you're interested in and you haven't really taken any classes in theater education specifically, don't let that scare you for applying to other lower risk jobs. Even if it's simply tutoring one child in singing or dancing or acting, that is something, again, you can put on your resume and that'll help you out when you need it. And you can show people, hey, I've been doing what I can and I've already dipped my toes in to this field and that makes me stronger for it. third tip is to think about your dream job. So what I did was I actually looked up jobs. I would, as if I was looking to get a job, even though I wasn't, look up jobs that you would actually like and then look at the qualifications they are asking for. One of the things that made me decide specifically to go to a grad program and get a theater education degree was because I saw this dream job at this really well-known theater on Long Island where I'm from, and they were looking for someone to run their after-school theater program. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds like an amazing job. I would like to one day have a job like that. What are they looking for? And when I looked at their job qualifications, they said theater education degree. And that's when I decided, hey, if I want to get those types of jobs, that's what I need. My fourth tip is when you are looking at graduate programs or even undergraduate programs for theater education, look for a program that involves student teaching. I can't stress how important that was, at least for me, to have that experience as a student teacher. It was very hands-on and I got to be in a classroom. So when I was in grad school at NYU, one semester during my final year, I student taught at a private high school in New York City. And then the next semester, I student taught at a public elementary school in New York City. And specifically, the elementary school experience was the best just because I knew what a high school drama teacher looked like. I felt like I knew what to expect. However, I had absolutely no idea what elementary school drama looked like in the classroom, and just having that experience and being able to see what kind of things an elementary drama teacher can do and what they can teach their students, I was completely inspired, completely floored. That's what made me decide that I was actually okay with teaching any grade. I went into grad school assuming that I would teach high school, assuming that was the only thing I was interested in, and I left it feeling like I could teach anything. And I was actually specifically excited to do elementary school drama because of that experience. And all I know is that if it wasn't for that student teaching experience, yes, your professors can tell you about what it's like, they can model lessons for you, but you're never going to have that kind of experience or that kind of knowledge until you actually see it happening in front of you with a group of third graders. And especially for elementary school drama, it's not something you hear a lot about. Odds are you probably didn't have an elementary drama teacher when you were younger, so you need that hands-on experience to know what that looks like, what elementary drama looks like in a classroom. And even with high school drama, like me, I did not grow up with a full-time drama teacher in high school, so just being able to be in that classroom, that experience is super important. Otherwise, you don't actually know what your job looks like until you get in there. And I'm not saying it's impossible to be a great drama teacher without student teaching, but at least for me, it was absolutely vital to giving me the confidence and the knowledge of what I wanted my classroom to look like. And my fifth and probably most important tip is just be you. I know, for example, it was hard for me at first to see myself as a drama teacher because a lot of the drama teachers I did have, whether it was in community theaters or whenever I went to specific theater classes in the city or auditions when I auditioned for directors, something that I always thought about is, oh, I'm not like that. Those people are so extroverted, or maybe this one teacher is really, really into improv, and I'm okay at improv, but it's not what I'm the most passionate about. Or this teacher is like Miss Darbus from High School Musical, and I don't know if I'm that type of person. The great thing about teaching in general is that you can fit it to your own personality. Don't feel like you have to be Miss Darbus, or don't feel like you have to be your drama teacher that you had growing up. You are able to make that job and that career completely your own. I know there's a quote that I hear, I forgot where I heard it first, but I've heard it multiple times since then. People say that the majority of what you teach is who you are, and I completely believe that. When the kids see that you are passionate about what you're teaching, and when you are teaching in the style that is the most comfortable for you, that's when the magic is going to happen. When you feel completely comfortable in your skin and you feel the freedom to teach what you believe is important for your students to know and teach it the way that you think you could be the most successful doing it. And honestly, don't be afraid to struggle at first. It's all about finding our own. Nobody comes out of grad school or college or anything, or even 5 years of teaching. So you're not supposed to know exactly what you're doing at all times. You're not supposed to ever hit perfection. We are always learning. So as long as you're comfortable in being in your own skin and learning in your own skin, then as long as you're doing something you're passionate, you should be all good, and your students will be lucky to have you. So there you have it. Those are my 5 tips for anyone interested in becoming a drama teacher. I hope this is helpful. I hope you found at least one of them helpful for you. I know that, like I said, there is not just one way, and there are many different avenues you can take, whether you're in high school, college, whether you're trying to do a whole career shift. Whatever the case may be, just find the avenue that works for you and try to find ways to make yourself shine and to find ways to make the journey truly your own, and your students will be very lucky to have you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.